back to Rugged Mountain Homestead. My name is Sarah, and today we are in the kitchen making an easy, old-fashioned, from scratch dessert that is absolutely no fail. And we are going to be making homemade bread pudding. I'm going to take you through step by step. It's simple. You should have all the ingredients on hand. They're very basic. So let's get started. First, what you're going to do is you're going to have 4 eggs. You're going to need to have 4 beaten eggs. You can either break these into your mixing bowl and mix them in a stand mixer, or you can just go ahead and whisk them by hand. Since I'm going to be using the mixer, I'm just going to go ahead and place them in the mixer and let the mixer do the work. Once my eggs are beaten, I'm going to add in 2 cups of milk. Any type is fine. 1/3 cup of sugar. Half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And a half teaspoon of cinnamon. Since I just used the half teaspoon there, I'm going to use 2 1/4 teaspoons. Now I'm going to take this over to the stand mixer, get this all mixed up together, and give me a nice custard blend. Oh wow, that smells really good. The cinnamon and vanilla. All right, and here's another reason why I love this dessert so much. I'm very much about frugal living, using what we have on hand, making the most of what we have, and being thankful for all of it. So now that we have our custard mixture here, I'm going to show you what makes this extra easy also. I do save my butter wrappers, and I use them to grease the dishes that I'm going to be baking things in. So this is just, it looks like, it doesn't say on the bottom, it's a Pyrex pie plate. It looks to be 9 inches and probably 2 inches deep. That should be plenty. Now I can throw this in the trash. Also, how many of you, when you buy bread, either throw the heel away or you just leave it in there and move past it and use the other pieces of bread? So if you have store-bought bread, I always take out the heels. I take a separate bag, it's usually a bread bag, and stick them in there and put them in the freezer. You will be surprised how quickly this adds up. I did this all the time before I made my own bread. So then when it came time that you have a small loaf of nothing but heels in the freezer, I take them out, I use 6 slices, I put them on a cutting board and chop them into cubes. If I'm in a real hurry, I just break them apart. So that is what I've done. I've taken 6 heels of bread because I did have store-bought bread. Busy, can't always make everything all the time, I understand that. So I'm going to get that here. Still feels warm. Okay, that's 6 slices of bread cut into cubes, and like I said in the past, I've just broken them apart too if I'm in a hurry. So you just put them in your pan, just like so. Just kind of even them out a little bit. Okay, so they look pretty much evened out. Then you're going to take your custard mixture. I'm just going to pour it over top of the breadcrumbs, or excuse me, the bread cubes, not crumbs, bread cubes. It's a little frothy from where it was mixed. That's okay. I'm going to use it all. And just kind of push it down a little bit. We want all the bread cubes to get moistened. I keep pushing mine down a little extra because I like them saturated. Okay, now you can take 1/3 cup of raisins or whatever dry fruit you may have. I have raisins, so 1/3 cup. I usually don't measure this out. I usually just, what I'm going to do now is take a handful and I just spread it on top, just kind of, and again, you can use whatever you want, you know, whatever you have on hand. Just like I'm getting ready to show you that I had some extra blueberries from where I had broken them down and saved them in individual bags this past week. It was 3/4 cup. I put them in here in this measuring cup. I am just going to put them on top. It's not going to hurt a thing. Well, and I just kind of spread that around just so it's kind of, you know, even all over the place. You don't want any bare spots. It's not a big deal. Then you're just, that's it. That is all there is to this. Then you're just going to put it in a 325-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes. You're going to take it out and stick a knife in the center and make sure that it comes out clean. Then that way you know your custard has set. So let's go ahead and stick that in there. That is as easy as that. A from scratch old-fashioned recipe. I know there's probably, well, I don't know, but there may not be a lot of people that eat bread pudding as much anymore, or it doesn't sound super appetizing. Bread pudding, when we think of pudding, we think of chocolate and banana and all those things, but it is delicious. You have your custard, you have your fruit, and it's just really good. And in case you don't know from scratch cooking, not everyone does. And that's quite all right, because not everyone learned to cook that way. I didn't learn to cook everything from scratch. I was a big buy prepackaged box things. And as I grew into my late 20s and my early 30s, I realized this isn't good. So in a quest for better health, better living, I was like, you know, I'm gonna learn how to cook from scratch. And I bought a cookbook. I had one gifted to me and I started studying and reading. All that being said, to say that from scratch cooking is just using ingredients that you have, or if you've never done from scratch cooking, that you need to get, and you are going to be using items that are not pre-packaged from a store, that you just dump into a bowl, add liquid, and add in the oven. we did something very similar, but it was not a mix from a box that has different chemical agents, different bleaching, all the processes that they put it through, and it's going to be delicious. So another idea that I've had, talking about from scratch cooking, while I am desperately waiting to get outside and take you with me, I was thinking about actually doing a little series of a whole meal from scratch cooking. You know, meaning we have our main dish and, you know, some sides and a dessert and bread. So put down in the comments if you'd like to see that, if you're interested in that. If you have anything in particular you'd like to know more about from scratch cooking, please just leave it down in the comments and we will most definitely get to it. Until then, I thank you for joining me in the kitchen. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.